Hello, my name is Min, and this is workshop 6 and 7 for APD545. And for this workshop, we're gonna improve our inventory application by adding formal button as well as function, which is to save our data to a file, load the data to a file, or save it into a database, or load data from a database. So for saving and loading from a file, we're going to use file output stream or and file input stream, and we're going to save it into our SER file. This file will require us to serialize our data before we save it into the file. So because of that, I implement the serializable interface into our in-house part class, inventory, the outsource part, the part itself, as well as the product class. And for the database, we're gonna for the saving and loading from a database work, I add this SQL JDBC library into my project, and also we initialize the database in this database initializer class, and it's gonna save our tables into inventory.db here. You can also see in our folder directory. And so to initialize the schema for our data, it's gonna create a parts table, a product table, and also a accessory part table, which gonna connect our part and product table. Okay, so now let's start running the application to see how function work properly. As always, application gonna ask us to log in. Once we log in, we have the initial uh, of 10 part and 10 product here. Let's say want to add 2 part. One is in-house, one is outsourced. Just gonna use random number here. Machine ID. That's our in-house part. Let's add outsourced. Price 1, 2, 3. Select outsourced. So company name is gonna be test. So now we have 2 part. Let's save it into our file. Oh, also, instead of create 4 button, I think it's better if we create a menu bar with 2 options of file and database, and depend on if you want to save or load to a file or a database, you can choose it, and you have 2 options to save or load. Same with database here. Okay, save the 2 part into our file. Let's close it. Let's run the application one more time. Log in. As you can see, the 2 new part we add is not here. Let's save it in the file. Let's load the data. And now it's here. And one cool thing about this part is that we can also add these 2 into our database. Thanks to the file, it doesn't save. So let's go to, as you can see here, there's only 10 part in the database. Let's load from the file and save it into our database. Close it again. See if our database have the two new part yet. Only 10 parts so far. Local database. And now we have the two new part here. Okay, let's say I want to add a product. Let's say testing products. Inventory 614. Cost 4. 2, 3. Add to now it's an outsourced part. Save it. Oh, the product cannot be less than our parts cost. So let's say it's 555. Save it. Now we see our product is here. Save into our database. Since we didn't save it into our file, the file shouldn't have this testing product at all, and it doesn't. Okay, let's load it from our database. It's back here. Okay, now let's do some modification on this. Also add gear into this, and let's change the price to 999. Save into our database. Let's load our data from the database, and the price is the new price, which is 999, and also the gear is in here. So that's all. Thank you for watching.